Thank you, Bryceland Entertainment, Jay Nolan, and Sacred Stitch for your questions. Lord Finesse, the one and only.
Man, how you doing?
Doing well, sir. Thanks for taking a little time to speak on the situation that happened with Pete Rock and Smith & Wesson at the monumental release party. The first question comes from Todd, who's from Sacred Stitch, and he wanted to ask you about your years in the game and seeing hip-hop grow internationally. Do you see a difference in the way the NYPD is treating hip-hop stars at home since the time that you were coming up?
Well, I mean, it's a tricky question because when we was growing up, it's two different generations. Let's get that straight. When we was growing up, and the music we was doing, and it was more respect factor. It was a lot of times I get pulled over in the hood, me, show, 9 out of 10 cops knew who we were, and they knew it was a positive vibe of the music that we was creating. So we always got let off with warnings or, oh, we ain't know it was you, and they let you keep going. But now, like I said, once again, it's a different generation. When you got rappers that aren't being smart, this doesn't go to all rappers, just go to the rappers that aren't being smart. When not only are you driving under the influence, but you're driving under the influence and you high. Now you're driving under the influence and you high, but you got a gun on you. I mean, like, it doesn't look good. You know, the media is going to magnify it. And right now, it's more things that the cops catch on rappers that's bad more than good. So when you got this being generated in the media at a constant rate, like every time you turn on the media, it's a rapper or it's an athlete in a bad light, not in a good light, in a bad. There's way more bad lights than it is good lights. Then of course now you got the precinct and cops taking extra precaution looking for things.
The second question's from Shishi of Bryceland Entertainment. And she wanted to ask why you think the cops don't tend to see hip-hop as an international culture that's peaceful and prosperous. Why do you think that they see it in a more negative light? Do you think that?
I think it's not as much diversity in hip-hop as it's been since you know, it's evolved into something like totally just crazy nowadays. Before you had different things. You had a balance. Let's put it like that. You had the native tongues. You had Herbie Love Bug. You had fun rap. You had revolutionary stuff. When you look at artists like KRS-One and Public Enemy and NWA and Ice-T. And now it's like when you turn on the radio now, it's all in like one vein. It's even material things, it's sex, it's not a balance. It's not an equal balance like it used to be. And though you have a lot of positive artists out there, like I said, once again, it's not a balance. Meaning the negative stuff is being more promoted than the actual positivity stuff. It's not an equal balance. So I know some people say, well, you got Mos Def, you got Talib, you got The Roots, you got Common, and once again, that's positive. But do they get as much play as these artists nowadays?
No. The third question comes from Jay Nolan. He's actually an artist himself, a very young artist. He wanted to find out from you if you think the events at Tammany Hall and the police brutality we all saw on video will affect future events in NYC.
I don't think it will affect future events, and when you say NYC is big. It will affect events in Tammany Hall, but they just had a nice event in Prospect Park yesterday with Raekwon and Smith & Wesson and Large Professor, Neek the Exotic, and it was great. Wasn't no violence there. It just, as a promoter or as an artist or as an organizer that's doing events, when that venue gets brought up, it's already like, oh, didn't that thing with Pete and them happen there? Nah, I'm not going to do my event there. And it's bad because I've been there and did a release party for Large Professor and Neek the Exotic when I was DJing that night. And it was positive, you know? So I don't know what was the difference between the Large Professor Neek the Exotic night and the Pete Rock Smith and Wesson night. But, you know, it was a peaceful night on the night we had, and it was peaceful, I guess, that night. But I wasn't there. I don't know if it was it could be a lot of different things. It could be how the crowd was being handled, you know, the security. And you have to really boil down to who called the cops. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. Was it the neighborhood? Was it such a line in a raucous with noise outside that, you know, the neighbors felt threatened and they called the cops? You know, but either way, you know, however, whatever happened, still don't give cops no right to put their hands on you. It just don't. I mean, they could tell you break it up, we're going to clear this block, and that's all it has to be. I don't think no authority should put their hands on you. And I don't like people like, well, I don't want to say I don't like people. I don't like when people like the police commissioner and Bloomberg automatically throws it on hip-hop and they don't get to what actually happened. They wasn't there. Their job is to protect the authority and let authority know, like, what you did was right and don't worry, we got your back. But it was actually wrong. You know, when I look at that footage, all you need was like a hose and some German Shepherds, and we was back in the civil rights movement the way that video looked. So as an artist, and when it comes to hip hop, you gotta handle yourself in the most diplomatic way. And when, I mean, nowadays with YouTube and all this footage stuff, all you gotta do is, as soon as they start coming to you, as soon as they approach you, just have your man throw the camera on. This way you catch it from the beginning, how you was approached, how you was spoken to, how they put their hands on you first. I mean, that's what this technology, if we got this technology, you got to use it. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have this type of technology, it becomes your word against their word, and face it. You know, we don't have that type of money to be hiring these just powerful attorneys. It's not happening in hip-hop. We got to jump through so many hoops in hip-hop to get a fair trial. So make it easy by having the footage. The footage will just show everything, and that'll cut the chase. And that'll make people like Bloomberg and the commissioner eat their words, because they automatically, no, they had the right to do what they do now. They don't have the right to put their hands on nobody. That's crazy.
So you did see the video where they were tussling with Pete Rock's wife.
I seen some of that part, but I seen when they was telling some dude to move, and he was with his girlfriend, and I guess he was moving, but he wasn't moving exactly quick enough. So the push comes in. Anybody, I mean, like, yo, what are you pushing me for? And then that's when the commencement, the extra force comes in. I seen one part of it when a cop came out of anywhere and was like, yo, y'all gotta move, y'all gotta move. And he runs over to the same area and just gets a punch in. Don't ask nothing. Don't say what's going on over here. They see they got him wrapped up against the car. Gets a punch in. I mean, what type of law enforcement is that, you know?
Having said all that, is there anything that was left unsaid that I didn't ask you that you want to be able to share with your fans, with all the other people in hip-hop that have been looking and watching this story unfold?
Us in the urban community, when I say us, I don't just mean black people, I mean Hispanics, I mean Dominicans. We got enough problems with the way these dudes treat us, besides us treating each other the way we treat each other. And, you know, that's all I got to say. But, you know, handle yourself And artists out there, keep yourself in a positive light.
Thanks so much.